Outside of gaming, what's the worst case of payers for something that should be included that you've ever seen? A few years ago I booked a hotel on a travel site, hotels.com or Priceline or something, in NYC. I get there with my wife around 9 PM. We're tired, a lot of night driving. Upon check-in the clerk says, so your room doesn't include a bed, just a pull-out sofa. Would you like to upgrade to a room with a bed? I'm pretty livid. I stand there for 20 minutes while he reviews my reservation documents and the website. In the end he confirms that the reservation just said single queen W sofa and not single queen sofa bed, so he upgraded me at no additional charge. The most surprising thing about this is that they have rooms without beds. When we were asked by the rental agency to vacate our rented house and they charged us a £150 checking out fee. Bastards, you told us to leave. Would just like to add, we were model tenants. They just wanted us out so they could do a quick refurb and put it back on the market for an extra £250 per month. Renoviction. Put in new carpets and paint the cabinets, then increase the rent almost double. It's a big problem in Vancouver right now. My laptop came with a 45W charger. It requires a 70W to charge at the full rate. The first time I plugged it in I got a notice window telling me the charger was wrong, linking me to the online store, where I could spend $70 on the right one. Frick you HP. I'm an IT guy. Our parent company decided, without any input from the IT people, that we would get hundreds of new HP laptops because apparently costing less makes a product better. No one in the company wants to use these things. The docking station won't charge the laptop most of the time, and they are an all-around downgrade in terms of functionality from our 5-year-old Lenovo's. Frick HP. My internet service includes a Wi-Fi capable router for free, but enabling the Wi-Fi costs extra. Or charging any kind of rent at all for a modem, especially when they claim you need their modem. The service you're already paying the large price tag for won't work without one, just a way for them to inflate the price another $5.10 per month. I went to a fine dining restaurant in Yosemite once. Meal was awesome. Then the bill came. We were charged for cutlery. What the actual frick? Should have taken that crap home since I paid for it. I'm surprised they also didn't charge a dishwashing fee, but WTF. Fair's entry price. I mean, why do frick do you have to pay admissions price if you have to pay for everything in the inside? Everything. We all did it in Roller Coaster Tycoon. My husband and I were at a nice steak restaurant, and it was busy so our orders were taking a while. Our waitress came out and apologized, and asked if we'd like some bread while we waited. We said sure. Later on the bill, we noticed the charge for the bread, $9. I hope that bread was handmade by an ancient sect of Peruvian bakers up high in the mountains for that much. My ISP. So, if I ask to remove one of the services in my bundle, I have to pay more? Yes. So, I get less, and pay more. Yes sir. Would you like to upgrade? Go frick yourself. Cancel it. Activation fees on cell phone. All they do is click a button that turns your service on. That's all. I know this because I have worked for a cell company. Per month fee for internet router. Why would you pay $5.10 per month for years for a simple piece of PR hardware that you could purchase at Best Buy for under $75? Service fees for buying tickets, or anything, online. Why exactly are you charging me more to use a method that's cheaper and automated? $20 service fee for $50 tickets on Ticketmaster. Recently a very famous bakery charged a few people around $10 for cutting the cake they had ordered. It blew up, reached national television. A week later, cafe charges a few bucks for an empty chair by some couple's table. When cable companies charge you separately for the router, setting it up, Wi-Fi, service fees, a voicemail for a home phone you don't own, etc. Wendy's nuggets. Where I live, it costs $0.99 for 4 nuggets. It's $1.79 for 6. Riddle me that. Why do they go from 25 cents a nugget to 30 cents a nugget for ordering a larger quantity? Is it the extra packaging for those 2 nuggets? Can I just get 2 more nuggets in a 4-piece pack prorated for 25 cents each? Or are they trying to entice me to just get 2 4-packs of nuggets for only 20 cents more? Nuggets. The prompt for this question: my wife's car came with remote start. Awesome feature and I love it. It's been bitching cold the last few days, but I've been walking outside to the frozen car to start it the regular way. Why? Because the factory installed remote start is only enabled when you pay $500 a year for the manufacturer's convenience app suite after the first year. Might be the definition of a first world problem, but it's still bulls. Those suckers must be testing the waters. Next, you gotta sign in via Facebook to use your wipers. A fast food place once said, "No ice is extra." The ice was 70% of the cup, and to give me a large with no ice meant getting a small amount of drink and it being obvious. So they refused unless I covered the cost of filling the cup. I didn't. That's a fast food place that doesn't understand their own costs. They're probably paying in the ballpark of 1 penny per ounce for the soda. The cost of the ice is going to be close enough. Google expecting me to pay for YouTube Red so I can listen to YouTube videos in the background on my freaking phone. A feature which was actually taken away so that it could be resold. Frick Google. Pro tip: if you watch YouTube on the Firefox browser, it lets you lock the screen. Multiple bills from when you visit the hospital. If I knew talking to that doctor for 3 minutes would cost me $1,500, I'd have just pretended I was sleeping. Paying extra to have turkey in my work's Christmas dinner. Honestly, could not believe it. Next year, I'm going to bring my own Christmas dinner. Bought a bourbon on the rocks at a local bar. They charged me $3.50 for the bourbon and $3.50 for the rocks. I had to pay for fricking ice. Some places actually pour more if you order rocks as opposed to neat. Not double, though. That's ridiculous. The estate agent fees that come with moving house. Even from rental to rental. We recently paid over £500 in fees, for which I was able to find an itemization. They included drawing up our tenancy agreement, which was clearly a copy pasta and had the wrong names inserted at times, and even £30 a pop for sending us the simplest of letters, which we didn't even receive a physical copy of. Everything was done electronically. It's an absolute sham, and it's genuinely outrageous that people are expected to part with their money for no tangible reason, especially bearing in mind that they'll often have had to come up with rent deposits in advance, and often before receiving the deposit back from the place they've just left. It has to change. Last time I rented through an agency, I told them I wasn't paying their fees, and feigned to walk away from the rental. They give in pretty easily or come back with a much lower fee. I now use a Penrent Co UK to get round the stupid fees. I had to pay for water at a bar once. Like there was no free tap water option. You had to buy bottled water, and it was like $6. I was somewhat desperate, so I forked over the money, but I feel like that should be illegal. In many countries it actually is illegal. When I visited Germany and the Netherlands, there were a few restaurants that required you to pay to use the washroom. I understand the paid washrooms in the train station and whatnot, but I feel like I shouldn't have to pay more for something so basic if I'm already paying to eat there. I think you could replace the coin collector that lets you open the door with something that just scans your receipt to ensure the washroom is only for paying customers and you'd be good to go. Restroom at Chipotle in Chicago was locked with a pin that you could find on the bottom of your receipt. Worked well. Some airlines make you pay extra once you pay for your ticket. Oh, you just paid for your seat? That'll be $25 extra for each seat. Thanks. That's only if you choose a seat. Let them place you wherever. It doesn't cost more, and they'll almost always sit you with other people you're going with anyway. You have health insurance but have to pay extra if you want your eyes and teeth covered too, as vision and dental isn't included in most standard health insurance plans. Which is absurd because both are health matters. I have seen some similar ones, but when my daughters were born they were premature. On the final bill there was a transportation fee which when I called to ask about it I was informed that was to take your daughters to the NICU as they were premature. The NICU was through a door, a 10-foot hallway and another door. I helped push one of the carts because I wanted to and the nurses were happy to let me be involved. It was $500 to literally move my daughters about 20 feet with my help, and the insurance would not cover it as it was excessive and unnecessary. I paid an attorney $175 to write a letter about the absurdity of the charge after 6 months of arguing and they finally refunded it. Mandatory $20 valet. We were already standing in the parking lot. He parked 15 yards away from me and the building entrance, but I guess it's the hotel policy. Be sure to do your fellow hotel stayers a solid and put that in their Google reviews. That's the sort of service that would encourage me to stay at a different hotel. My mom has a great story about this. After grad school, she and her 2 good friends, we'll call them Dan and Sarah, traveled through Europe for about a month. They went to all sorts of places, London, Prague, Berlin, etc. And one of their stops was Venice. Now I'm not sure how different it is now, but back in the late 80s, if they could even smell that you were a foreigner, shop owners and business people would try to rip you off for as much as they could get away with. One day they decided to eat at a relatively popular cafe restaurant. They sit down and eventually order, and when their food comes, they notice that although they have drinks and utensils, the table is devoid of napkins. They ask their server about this and he tells them that napkins cost extra. Now, had they been bumbling Americans out of their element they might have balked at this. However, Dan, who is one of the smartest people I have ever met, and who has traveled here before and speaks broken Italian, says oh that's alright, we'll just use the tablecloth, and begins messily eating his food. And wouldn't you know, within about 2 minutes napkins magically appeared on the table. This is not the only time on the trip that Dan saved the day. There's also the adventure of the crooked gondoliers, but that's another story. Story time. I'm currently sitting in a cafe with a sandwich and a coffee and had to pay £1.50 extra to sit in and have my food as opposed to taking it out. Bit miffed. Should have had it to go, then walked back in and sat there to eat it. Literally anything that has to do with college. If I'm paying $10k plus a year I best be getting at least a meal plan with that. Nope. Extra $1,000 for meal plan. Extra $500 for books. Extra $5,000 a year to live off campus in apartments owned and controlled by the school. Dare I say more? College meal plans are scams themselves. Do the math. They usually end up being more than $10 meal. I went to a McDonald's in a Paris train station and ordered 3 chicken nugget Happy Meals and 2 quarter pounder with cheese meals. They would only give me 2 sauces. Total. I tried to explain to the lady that I ordered 5 meals. 3 of those were chicken nuggets. I should get at least 3 sauces for the nuggets. I don't know how she came up with her number, but she would not budge. Luckily, one of my kids did not want sauce for their nuggets and the rest of us just ate our fries without ketchup. I went into a sandwich shop and asked for a ham and cheese sandwich, no salad. They charged extra for the cheese. Makes CA look like amateurs. My brother is super picky about food and we went to this random burger place one time. He ordered the plainest burger they had with no pickles, no sauce, etc. The burger ended up being like $16 because they charged to remove items. It's a small thing but very annoying. When my kids were little they wanted a Hot Wheels crash coaster racetrack. In the ads it shows 2 cars crashing into each other. Very cool. When we get it home we realize there is only 1 car included with the track. Additional cars were $6.99. You can't crash a car by itself. Never bought another Hot Wheels item again. Having to pay to view my voicemails. Currently have to call, press 1, listen to all, etc. aka the old-fashioned way, because Verizon wants me to buy visual voicemail. Just use Google Voice. I've had visual voicemail for years for free. Next time you are in a hotel, take a glance at the list of laundry services that they offer. I was recently in Europe, and the hotel offered to launder a pair of socks for €4. A pair of underwear was €5. Cheaper to buy new socks and undies. I never really understood why I have to pay a deductible on an insurance claim. I have been paying for this insurance for years, but if I decide to use it then I have to drop an extra X amount of cash to use the insurance. I hate everything about insurance. I asked to test a new sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings. Waiter kindly brings out a few fries, without us asking, to dip in the sauce. Later find out we were charged $1.50 for sample fries. Wonder where that $1.50 will be subtracted from? This is not the worst case, but I own a Tesla S and I have been thinking about upgrading it so the battery would last longer. The guy who sold it to me told me it was possible, so I called the dealer and thought I had to bring it in so they would change the battery and everything. But no, they actually do it remotely. So this basically means they just unlock something I already have for a couple of $1,000. It's ingenious really, but weird when you think about it. That was also part of what prompted the question. I had heard that the longer lasting battery was just a software firmware upgrade. I imagine it's not long before that trickles down to the more mass market manufacturers too. Stick with me. I hope to save you some pain. We were looking into buying a condo in a building that seemed to have a lot of for sale signs. A little checking uncovered that the owners were forced to pay $20,000 each for a new roof. This was a mandatory maintenance charge, over and above the homeowner's regular fee of $200 a month for upkeep and servicing. The place had not been painted in years, but painting was routine maintenance, where the roof was a special assessment. People were abandoning their homes, those that could were taking second mortgages. The condo board of directors also owned the roofing company. An independent roofing contractor offered to take the job at $4,500 per unit. For comparison, bought my first new vehicle in 2006. It was a fully loaded Toyota Tacoma TRD with a V6, 4x4, 6-speed manual, access cab, etc. Went to get in the truck to drive away after signing papers and saw there were no F-king floor mats. The salesman was like, "We have those at the parts department. $120 for the set." A. Toyota, get your crap together and include mats with your dang cars. B. The dealership should just add them to all vehicles and charge the buyers if need be. C. The salesman should have mentioned that to me at some point in the buying process. Easy. Car options. A $200k 2017 NSX requires you to pay $3k for fricking navigation. Nothing else, simply navigation. BMW forces you to get the executive package for like $6k to get LED headlights. Don't even get me started on Porsche. In the 2000s a nav felt like the highest of luxury. In 2017 I'd rather follow my phone's Google Maps stuck on the dash of my 96 Honda Accord than a brand new built-in system. I was once eating breakfast at a hostel I was staying at in Vietnam and the bread they gave me had no butter or jam. I went up to the counter to politely ask for some, and the guy told me it costs extra. I tried to politely clarify that, no, all I want is a bit of butter, to which the guy assured me that would be an additional 10,000 dong, about US $0.45. I realize this is a minuscule amount, but I was so annoyed at being charged extra for something that should have been included, on top of several instances of really terrible and lazy customer service the past few days, that I decided I wasn't going to back down. I ended up going back to my table to finish eating, and the guy came over with some butter and jam, sat down with me, and proceeded to lecture me on how he knew how to run a business and I didn't. I replied that he clearly did not understand the value of good customer service. He started giving me scenarios like, if a customer orders coffee and wants cream with it, do you just give it to them? Yes. What if they want another? Still yes. What if they want 7 creams? Still yes. I had to explain that nobody is going to order 7 creams with their coffee, and if the prices are so important then you should add them onto the main product. Anyway, the whole thing made me really angry, so I checked out and went to a different hostel. Well, that's not the worst thing to happen to someone in Vietnam. Back in the day, before Obama changed it, if you didn't use your gift card to a store then your gift card would be deducted for a fee. Let that sink in. Your money in essentially card form was being charged a fee because you didn't use it in a certain time frame. Nobody is holding the money for you. Nobody is keeping up with the money for you like a bank. and losing it still meant you lost it like cash, so you can't get the money back on the card. It changed because people pulled that crap on student refund cards. Frick, I remember that. I always used a Visa prepaid card back in high school as a sort of fake debit card, and I remember that after 12 months, they'd deduct $2.50 more or whatever. University. I already pay a lot of money just for my course, yet I still have to buy my textbooks separately. They put card charges on all the campus stores because people can't go elsewhere, and other things like gym memberships and printing services all have to be paid for outside of the initial fees. I had a course, for which I paid, and required a specific textbook, which I purchased, and required an iClicker. To register and use the iClicker was another fee. Surreal. Batteries in every toy ever created that requires them. The disappointment every year at Christmas when you got this new toy and couldn't even play with it. With the iPhone 8 and X, one of the big marketing points that Apple has been touting is fast charging. However, what they don't tell you is that the included adapter is incapable of taking advantage of the feature. So in order to use one of the biggest upgrades, you have to give Apple an extra $50 on top of the $999 that you already gave them. A massage place in La lures you in with a cheap massage, but then they tell you that that massage is from someone with warts as part of a charity that employs people with warts, called City Warts. Then they tell you that you can get a massage with someone without warts for $15 extra. Most people upgrade. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.